let's move on to our first topic. Oh my God. If there are any kids here, probably best to mute their ears for this, because we're talking, of course, about the Lizzo situation.
Oh,
yeah, I know. Well, just avert thine eyes from this outrageously grotesque apparition on said monitor here, because of course Lizzo has a lawsuit against her for a whole multitude of things, which we covered on the last podcast. But now she has responded, which she did immediately, just like her thighs. And so, yeah, we've got to cover this because because I want to, because it's funny, basically. So she says that the charges are too outrageous not to be addressed. Too outrageous. So Lizzo has responded to the numerous sexual harassment and discrimination allegations that have emerged over the past few days, and she's not held back, describing them as too outrageous not to be addressed. So this is all done in an Instagram post, of course.
Actually, usually when these kind of things are not true, they're really just like, yeah, that's insane. I categorically deny it, and I'm not even going to give it any more breath than that.
Well, they usually instantly respond as well, which they didn't. They waited a few days. But anyway, so she goes, these last few days have been gut-wrenchingly difficult and overwhelmingly disappointing. My work ethic, that clearly does, well, is the work ethic of pounding down the pies, or
yeah.
Morals and respectfulness have been questioned. You don't respect anyone, Lizzo. You are abusing people's eyes, all right? Shut up. My character has been criticized. Usually I choose not to respond to false allegations. You're being taken to court. But these are as unbelievable as they sound and too outrageous not to be addressed. They're not. They don't sound unbelievable. I can absolutely believe all of this, because those that shout the loudest are more often the ones covering for stuff. These sensationalized stories are coming from former employees who have already publicly admitted that they were told their behavior on tour was inappropriate and unprofessional. As an artist, I've always been very passionate about what I do. I take my music and my performances serious. Bearing in mind, you've seen what she looks like and what she sings about. Mm-hmm. I cannot take any of this seriously, because she is it's just ridiculous. Because at the end of the day, I want to put out the best art that represents me and my fans. Well, actually, I guess now you know what she looks like and what she sings about. I guess that does perfectly represent her, doesn't it? With passion comes hard work and high standards. What high standards?
What high standards does she have for herself?
No, fucking none.
None.
But high cholesterol standards,
yeah,
maybe. Sometimes I have to make hard decisions, but pie to eat. But it's never my intention to make anyone feel uncomfortable or like they aren't valued as an important part of the team. I am not here to be looked at as a victim, but I also... You victim... God. But I also know that I am not the villain that people in the media have portrayed me to be these last few days. I'm very open with my sexuality and expressing myself, but I cannot accept or allow people to use that openness to make me out to be something I am not. There is nothing I take more seriously than the respect we deserve as women in the world. I know what it feels like to be body shamed on a daily basis and would absolutely never criticize or terminate an employee because of their weight. I'm hurt, but I will not let the good work.
Yeah, never mind. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah. I'm hurt, but I will not let the good work I've done in the world be overshadowed by this. I want to thank everyone who has reached out in support to lift me up during this difficult time. No one can fucking lift you.
This is long.
All right, literally no one can lift you because you are fucking ginormous.
You need a crane.
So initial thoughts on that, guys, because it's important to note, you know, she came out and said all of this nonsense. But there have been like pretty high up people that have been, you know, that have now come out. So there was someone that was like, who was working on one of her shows, who was like the producer on one of her shows, and was like, the director, sorry, and was like, no, I literally had to quit because of the disrespect that I was getting from Lizzo. So yes, this is all bollocks to me, I think, personally.
And she's gonna be held to the same bologna sausage standard that she's tried to put other people under with all of this virtue signaling nonsense that she's into.
Don't say baloney.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Anyway, I look, we said this at the time. I'm going to stick by it. It's too ridiculous not to believe that this is true.
Yeah.
No, and I mean her whole thing about expressing sexuality. I'm just waiting for a lot of this clap back to all these folks who were, all for the Me Too movement. But as soon as you realize being overtly sexual is going to put you in some precarious positions, they may rethink some of this stuff. Because the thing, again, she's not categorically denying. I mean, she's denying some of it, but she's also making excuses at the same time, which makes it even more sus.
Yeah.
Because she's like, it's unbelievable. But then she's all like, well, I've always been open sexually. Well, okay, so what are you trying to say here then? It should have been a very simple, I categorically deny these allegations and I will have my day in court. That's all you fucking say. You say no more.
Yeah.
You leave it alone, or you don't even respond.
So she's bi?
Yeah. I don't know what the fuck she is, but I don't really give a shit.
Who knows?
My point is that all these folks were like, oh, these were the front runners in the Me Too movement era, as far as, the same type of people. These are the same type of people acting out sexually right now. The shit's going to come back to haunt them. I mean, the shit that we were told is worse than Weinstein crap in some ways, if you ask me. At least with Weinstein here, there's that half-ass promise of a fucking career afterwards. What do you get after you eat a banana out of a vagina from fucking Lizzo? You get fucking fat shamed is what you get.
But it's important to note, right? Oscar nominee Sophia Gnarly Allison has come out and spoken out against Lizzo. So she exited her role as the director of Lizzo documentary in 2019 after only 2 weeks because, and I quote, she was treated with such disrespect. So it's not outside of the wheelhouse of what we already know about this individual.
At this point, she's got to prove her innocence as far as I'm concerned. Sorry, I'm not normally like that, but yeah.
I don't know I haven't looked into all the details on this, but just from, scrolling through social media and stuff, wasn't she like fat shaming some of her?
Yeah, that was what I was joking about. Supposedly, one of the dancers, as part of the lawsuit, said that she was being fat shamed by Lizzo for gaining some weight.
Like she has room to talk.
Exactly. No, she doesn't have
no room because she's so big. Way.
Yeah.
This reminds me of a line from a movie, and I'm going to change the line up a little bit. Some people in the chat might know the movie. Some people out here on the panel might know the movie.
Debbie Does Dallas.
Yeah. An obese woman, a disgusting woman who could barely stand up, a woman who, if you saw her on the street, you'd point her out to your friends so that they could join you in mocking her. A woman who, if you saw her while you were eating, you wouldn't be able to finish your meal. You guys know the movie?
I
support body shaming, by the way.
Oh yeah, no, I unequivocally support. Like I it's the same with like all the sort of identitarian nonsense that's being pushed around today.
They're trying to normalize
you live in a world where society now can no longer self-regulate, right? That's what used to happen. Society regulated the nonsense out of existence. And now, because we live in a cotton wool society, everything runs rampant. You wouldn't see, right, an anorexic pop star pushed to stardom like Lizzo is. And this is two ends of exact same spectrum. And any guys, if you're watching this and your missus is with you and they're like, shut up, Lizzo's really beautiful. Turn to your girlfriend or your wife and go, yeah, she is really beautiful. There's something about Lizzo with you as well. Compare your missus to Lizzo. See how quick that beauty standard gets flipped. It is a fucking facade. It is nonsense.
Yeah. Yeah, they're trying to normalize all this crazy stuff like, extreme obesity, I there's a lot of people out there that, and especially me for sure, could lose a couple lbs, but there's that point to where it's just like,
there's a limit.
yeah, like I'm not having to get on the little scooter at the store to ride around because my legs can't walk my body around. It's just it's not healthy, at all.
Thing is, like you'd have the stuff about this is hilarious because the religious shaming was funny as well because one what the dance captain is highly religious, and the moment she found out that one of the dance crew was a virgin, she like kept prodding the fact that she was you should be happy that someone is a virgin if you're a Christian, if that's actually what you believe. Like, what are you doing? This whole stuff,
she's full of shit.
Hypocrisy.
Yeah,
it just reeks of hypocrisy all through and through. It's all nonsense.
I mean, could she be innocent? Maybe, but that's the problem we all have here. Not a single one of us, and I don't even think anybody in the audience thinks she's innocent. This is almost worse than the what's-his-face Marvel dude right now.
Oh, Jonathan Majors. Yeah.
Jonathan Majors. At least there's some room for doubt. I don't doubt any of this shit.
Yeah, none of it.
Not a single. In fact, it's probably worse than this.
Yeah. How loud has she shouted about all of this stuff? Time after time after time. Yeah. Those who shout the loudest. It's like never believe a male feminist.
Yeah, exactly.
Wrong with them, right? they're doing it. Like it's always interesting. Those people who, no matter what it is, they go to the extreme ends of a certain spectrum. So say like, and just as a rule of, just as an example, it's not a rule of thumb. It's just as an example. Those that find Christianity later in life, but they go to the extreme cult-like level, right? Which it can obviously be that level. When you become a born-again Christian and you're to that extreme where you're sort of exorcising parts of your family because they believe, you believe they're going to go to hell, etc., etc. Mark my words, there are some skeletons in your closet that you are wanting to repent for. It's the same with all of this crap. It's exactly the same. White knighting, male feminism. There is stuff that you're putting on this exterior shell. You just don't need, you don't need to tout this stuff. Tout your virtue if that's just genuinely what you believe. You just don't need to. Those that shout the loudest, hiding something.
Yeah, one of the most popular verses in the Bible is when Jesus is telling people, those without sin cast the first stone at the whore that they brought before them, and everybody leaves because he's making a point like, hey, nobody's perfect. We all do, effed up stuff from time to time, bad decisions. We all have skeletons. None of us are perfect, so
but remember Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We ain't saying what you should or shouldn't do. Just remember Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, like I said, thought this was hilarious. Thought we would cover this a little bit more.
Even if she is innocent, I ain't apologizing. I don't give a shit.
No. Do we think this will go to court or not? What do we think the viability of this going to court is?
I bet you some checks get wrote.
It's going to get it's going to get settled. Big checks are going to get written.
Definitely. Because once this thing, if this goes to court and all that, if it's a judgment by a judge and all that's public record. That's why most people settle out of court because they don't want a lot of this stuff out in public,
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. There's probably video evidence and stuff too. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
You're in Amsterdam partying, that someone's gonna have some photos.
That's what I mean. Everybody has freaking phones now. There's cameras at most places. Chances are they're not gonna make these kind of allegations if you don't have something to back it up.
They won't even let this case get to discovery.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. That's my point, Nick. Yeah. There's no way they want any of this shit getting out. I guarantee you that's going to be part of the deal, dude. You know exactly what I'm saying. To be able to snuff all this stuff. Any videos, any evidence, anything, blah, 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 goes all back to Lizzo's lawyers.
Yeah. And then afterwards, they'll all get leaked.
Her label's going to write that check. Don't be fooling yourself.
Yeah.